Hello, Python enthusiasts. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're embarking on an exciting journey into the world of Python game development. Get ready to dive deep into code and creativity as we bring to life the classic snake game. Python snake game tutorial. Let the coding begin. Before we jump into coding, let's set the stage. The snake game, a timeless classic, is not only fun, but also an excellent way to hone your programming skills. In this tutorial, we'll guide you through the creation process, step by step, unraveling the magic of Python game development. Creating a game involves more than just coding. We'll start by setting the scene, discussing the game's objective, rules, and the mechanics that make the snake game both challenging and addictive. It's not just about code, it's about creating an immersive experience. Ready to code? Before we begin, let's ensure our environment is set up for Python game development. We'll guide you through the process of installing the necessary tools and libraries, so you're all set to bring your snake game to life. Import pygame. This line imports the pygame library, a set of Python modules designed for video game development. Pygame provides functionalities to easily create games and multimedia applications. Import time. The time module is a standard Python library that includes various time-related functions. In game development, it's often used for managing time delays or introducing pauses in the program. Import random. The random module is another built-in Python module. It provides functions for generating pseudo-random numbers, which is useful in creating unpredictable or random elements in games, simulations, and other applications. These three lines are commonly included at the beginning of Python programs to access the functionalities provided by pygame, manage time-related aspects, and introduce randomness into the code. Pygame.init. This line initializes the pygame library. It's a crucial step before using any pygame functions or modules. This function initializes various modules needed for pygame to work, such as video, audio, and others. These lines define color variables using RGB, red, green, blue, values. In pygame, colors are often represented as tuples of three values ranging from 0 to 255, where each value determines the intensity of the corresponding color. D-8 égale 600. Dis_height equals 400. These lines define the width and height of the game display window. In this case, dis_width is set to 600 pixels and dis_height is set to 400 pixels. D égale pygame.display.set-mode, D-8, D-8. This line creates a pygame display window with the specified dimensions dis_width and dis_height. The set_mode function initializes the display surface where the game graphics will be drawn. Pygame.display.set_caption, snake game. This line sets the caption or title of the game window to snake game. The caption appears at the top of the game window and helps identify the application. Clock equals pygame.time, clock. This line creates a pygame clock object. The clock is used to control the speed of the game by regulating the number of frames per second, FPS. It ensures that the game runs at a consistent speed across different devices. Snake_block equals 10. Snake_speed equals 15. These lines define the size of the snake block and the speed of the snake in the game. Snake_block is set to 10 pixels, determining the dimensions of the snake elements. Snake_speed is set to 15, indicating the number of frames per second and controlling how fast the snake moves. Font_style equals pygame.font.sysfont, Calibri, 25. Score_font equals pygame.font.sysfont, Comic Sans, 34. These lines define font styles for displaying text in the game. The font_style is set to a Calibri font with a size of 25, and score_font is set to a Comic Sans font with a size of 34. These fonts may be used to render scores, messages, or other text on the game screen. This function takes the score as a parameter, renders it using the score_font, and then draws the rendered text onto the game display, dis, at coordinates 0, 0. This function displays a message on the game display at the vertical center, dis_height/2, using the specified color. The rendered text is blid onto the game display. This function is responsible for drawing the snake on the game display. It takes snake_block, size of the snake block, and snake_list, a list containing coordinates of snake segments, as parameters. It uses pygame.draw.rect to draw each segment of the snake. This line initiates the execution of the game by calling the main_game function. This code appears to implement a simple snake game using the pygame library, with functions for scoring, displaying messages, drawing the snake, and managing the main game loop. Game_over, a Boolean variable indicating whether the game is over. It is initially set to false. Game_close, another Boolean variable representing whether the game has reached a close state. It is also initially set to false. x1, the initial x-coordinate of the snake's head. It is set to half of the game display width dis_width/2. y1, the initial y-coordinate of the snake's head. It is set to half of the game display height dis_height/2. x1_change, the change in the x-coordinate of the snake's head. It is initially set to 0, meaning no horizontal movement. y1_change, the change in the y-coordinate of the snake's head. It is initially set to 0, indicating no vertical movement. Snake_list, an empty list that will store the coordinates of each segment of the snake's body. Length_snake, a variable representing the initial length of the snake. It is set to 1 at the beginning. Foods, the x-coordinate for the initial position of the food. It is set to a random multiple of 10.0 within the game display width. Foodie, the y-coordinate for the initial position of the food. It is set to a random multiple of 10.0 within the game display height. This is the main game loop, which continues as long as the game_over variable is false. This loop is responsible for handling user input, updating the snake's position, drawing game elements, and managing the game state. This nested loop runs when the game is in a close state, e.g., when the snake collides with the screen boundary. It fills the game display with a white background, displays a message indicating the game loss, and updates the score. It listens for key events, and if the Q key is pressed, it sets game_over to true and exits the loop. If the P key is pressed, it starts a new game by calling the main_game function. This section handles user input events, such as key presses and window close events. If the user presses the arrow keys, left, right, up, down, it updates the snake's direction accordingly by modifying x1_change and y1_change. This condition checks if the snake's head has collided with the screen boundary. If so, it sets game_close to true, triggering the game over screen loop. These lines update the snake's position, fill the display with a black background, draw the food in red, and draw the snake on the display. It also updates the score and refreshes the display. This conditional statement checks if the head of the snake, x1, y1, is at the same position as the food, foods, foodie. If true, it means the snake has eaten the food. The code then generates new random coordinates for the food, and the length of the snake, length_snake, is increment by 1. This line controls the speed of the game by regulating the number of frames per second, FPS, using the pygame clock. The argument snake_speed determines how fast the game runs. These lines are used to gracefully exit the pygame environment. Pygame.quit uninitializes all pygame modules, and quit exits the Python interpreter. Finally, the script initiates the execution of the game by calling the main_game function. This part of the code concludes the snake game script. It handles the logic for when the snake eats the food, controls the game speed, and ensures a proper exit from the pygame environment. The main_game function is then called to start the game. Let's see how it out. Build the entire game. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next episode. Happy coding, and see you in the next video.